this is going to be one between Johnson and King, but
oh yes, it is.
Romain Grosjean has been hinted at Stewart-Haas Racing. He could be going over there for a NASCAR round next year. Go on, Johnson. This is your segment. Let her rip.
This is me. Thank you very much. Basically, the story here is that, and we all knew this might be a possibility because obviously Haas F1 came from pretty much the same place as Stewart-Haas Racing came in NASCAR. They're a championship winning team over there. And inevitably, people have started going, well, hang on a minute. They've got a team in Formula One. They've got a team in NASCAR. When is the crossover going to happen? Tony Stewart, co-owner of Stewart-Haas Racing, of course, in NASCAR, has hinted at this before. Romain Grosjean's teased it before, and now we're hearing actively that this could be a thing that is happening. And when you look at the dates, Watkins Glen is in the Formula One summer break. This is one of the wildest NASCAR Sprint Cup Series rounds of the year, historically. 2011, 2012, and 2014 were three of the best NASCAR races of the last 10 years. So, and this is likely, because I thought at first, King, that this would be like, for example, Dale Earnhardt Jr. teased getting Daniel Ricciardo in to run an Xfinity Series race with his team, Junior Motorsports. But King, it appears to me, they want to go all in on this one. They want to get a cup car and they want to run Grosjean in the cup race. It's going to be wild if it happens.
Yeah, it'll definitely be wild to see any NASCAR driver make the move, make any one-off appearance in a NASCAR event as an active Formula One driver, where that'd be something, you know, you would never hear of, period. Like, I think the closest we ever got to that recently was like Kimi Räikkönen running in the Truck Series. That 1 year Ferrari paid him not to be in F1.
Yeah, pretty much when he was on sabbatical anyway. I mean, like, it feels to me, and I wonder if this has all become of a legacy of it. Obviously, last year, Nico Hülkenberg went to Le Mans, won with Ferrari. Not Ferrari, what am I talking about? That's the Formula One team he wishes he was at. Sorry, Nico. I wonder, King, if a lot of this is coming from, you know, seeing... or Nico going to Le Mans, winning with Porsche, and suddenly seeing an active Formula One driver outside of Formula One in a current major racing series, which you haven't seen in a long time. You have to go back to the 80s and maybe the early 90s for when Formula One drivers would occasionally guest outside of their sport. I mean, famously, Nigel Mansell made some cameos in British Touring Car Championship, but his most famous ones came after he'd already retired from Formula One. Mm-hmm. So it just seems, ever since Hülkenberg's run at Le Mans last year, the idea of Formula One drivers suddenly not exclusively being tied down to Formula One for the entire year and maybe being able to do one-off cameos elsewhere, it seems to have lightened up a bit. Alonso teased potentially going to Le Mans, but the clash with Baku means that won't happen this year. We've already had Ricciardo being teased for NASCAR, and now Grosjean for NASCAR. This is interesting times.
Yeah, definitely interesting times. To me, it feels like the drivers always wanted to do it. I think it was more of a question for their, you know, teams and sponsors, whether this would be, you know, a viable thing to do.
And whether it'd be worthwhile, what they'd get out of it in terms of exposure of the brand and, you know, bringing people back. Because obviously you don't want people bringing fans over to a rival of your product. But at the same time, Grosjean appearing in NASCAR, hey, Bernie's wanted to crack America for years, hasn't he? Imagine that. NASCAR, the biggest motorsport audience in America and one of the biggest in the world, suddenly sees a current Formula One driver racing in there, mixing it up, and they go, oh, when's the American Grand Prix? Oh, it's in a couple of weeks' time. I might lock into that. So it might just funnel back to Formula One. And of course,
they had Montoya.
For Haas,
they kind of had Montoya for that. That didn't really work out that way, but you know, carry on.
Well, you know,
what are you on about? Montoya never went to Montoya went to NASCAR after he finished in Formula One.
Yeah, he rage quit F1 and left.
Shut up, Barry. It sounded cool.
You just go back to the corner and mumble for a bit more. But anyway, I mean, for Haas himself, it's win-win because, hey, huge brand, and he's got his drivers crossing over. And in lieu of it being very unlikely for his NASCAR drivers to make a cameo in Formula One, why not go the other way?
Yeah, and it seems like it's most likely going to be the Watkins Glen race weekend, because the only other possible date he would be able to do where he would even be, you know, competitive would be the Xfinity Series race at Mid-Ohio. Yes, the second division also goes to Road America, but that clashes with the Belgian Grand Prix, so he wouldn't be able to do that round.
Yeah, that's a no-go.
So they're hoping for Watkins Glen, and they're hoping him to get in a car. In a car in some degree, and Grosjean feels like it would be a fun weekend out, and he thinks he would be competitive.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Historically, open wheel drivers have struggled coming across to NASCAR. I mean, we've seen it with IndyCar people. Danica Patrick has adapted quite well, but even guys like Sam Hornish, Paul Tracy did NASCAR for a little while. Dario Franchitti had a botched attempt in 2008. So I think Grosjean would really have to work hard to hit the ground running. Historically, the guys who've worked out best coming over from other sports have been guys who've come over from touring cars. I mean, someone like Marcus Ambrose, hey, V8 Supercars is almost NASCAR on road courses in Australia, isn't it?
Yes.
But I just think the marquee attraction of seeing Grosjean in a stock car would be wild. And as I say, Watkins Glen is one of the highest, most anticipated races on the Sprint Cup calendar. So it's a win-win for everyone. Even if he piles off at the first corner, hey, he gave it a go. Didn't work out, but hey, Formula One driver does NASCAR. It's a great story, isn't it?
Indeed.
And him being Grosjean, he better have like a Perrier car, just like Sacha Baron Cohen's character in Ricky Bobby. Oh God, his name just.
Well, Kurt Busch did run a Ricky Bobby car a few years back, the Wonder Bread car.
Yes,
so someone will have that idea. Someone will pitch that idea to Grosjean, and Grosjean will probably go, no, shut up. Dre, you can have your show back now.
We've sunk to Ricky Bobby references here on Motorsport 101. I'm now about to jump out of the window like that gif in the IT crowd.